Hello and welcome to a not so awesome review. And today we're looking at the Dragon Ball Super S.H Figarts Frieza by Bandai. And yeah, let's just get into it here. Frieza does come with a pretty good amount of accessories, albeit he is missing one that I wouldn't have, minded having from the original release, which is the rock that he has so he can stand and recreate the whole, I just came out of the spirit bomb attack and I just shot Piccolo because I was shooting for Goku, but Piccolo got in the way. That whole thing, that whole scene from Dragon Ball Z, that would have been cool, and the head for that would have been cool. Instead, we do get three different heads, and so I don't have the original release of this. I've seen it, I've looked at what it comes with, and from what I can tell, aside from that rock, the only other major differences are the faces. Like I said, he comes with the closed eye face from that scene from Dragon Ball Z, a slightly different screaming face, I want to say, and another neutral face. And the eyes and everything, actually, the design of it is slightly different from what I've seen. But aside from that, I want to say everything else is pretty much the same. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments. Just, whatever. But this figure, let's, talk exclusively about this guy because there are a few things to talk about, a few things to note here. One, getting him to stand in a neutral vanilla pose, almost impossible because of his tail. He is back heavy because of it. Doesn't matter which tail you. Actually, I think you can get him to stand with this one. But the defaulted one where he's not, choking somebody or doesn't have the little thing here to choke somebody, I should say. It's not gonna happen. You can rotate it all you want. It doesn't really touch the ground too much, and he just wants to fall over, which sucks. But on the bright side, he does come with a Tamashii Nation stand, and he does come with the part that goes around his waist. On the downside is Frieza is so short that you have to mess with the Tamashii Nation stand so much that he won't actually be on the stand itself, and you might as well just use it to balance his tail because, well, otherwise it's just going to look ridiculous, especially if the tail's going to get in the way of the clip going around his waist, or if you want to put it around his neck, which is going to look really weird. But on the plus side, the stand does support his death beam thing. Is it a death beam? I don't remember what it's called, but his attack right there, which you can see balances good, has a peg, looks good, and he does come with his death ball, which plugs into his wrist and looks really nice. So, just putting all that out there. One more thing, I'll get to that actually. Probably the most annoying thing I will get to once we get to the articulation part. Aside from that, he does come with a nice number of hands. He comes with two kind of beam shooting hands. One of them you can obviously use for the death ball as well. The other one is the curved finger one, which, although it is cool to have it, I feel like the only reason we got this one is because of it's like a leftover from the whole, well, shooting Piccolo scene. I don't see why else he would have that one, unless you want someone grabbing his hand and he's hurt. So I guess that works, but just putting that out there. He comes with two kind of blasting hands, which look good. The finger or the fingernails, I should say, are all painted black on them, and they look good. He has two more or less relaxed hands, which is fine and all. I do kind of wish he had style posing hands, though. I don't think Frieza does he have like a stance? I don't know. If he does, he should have had those hands. Otherwise, those are all right, I guess. And he does have dangling feet for one. I'm pretty sure these are just because they're the same ones that were on the rock. I can't confirm it. I'm pretty sure that's why we got them. But for two, when he's floating, if you want him on a stand, those are the feet to use. And they do have right or an R and an L kind of etched into them. So which foot goes into which, foot. And like I say, he does come in his tail, which, if you want him to give him the illusion of his tail being broken, you can just, pull that off like that and attach it to him, and he can have his tail cut. On top of that, he does come with his halo, which looks pretty good, though there is a sprue mark in the front and in the back. And just some piece of advice for you guys, putting it on, obviously the halo goes like that, the way I just had it. But putting it in that way isn't easy. So my advice is turn it around so it's facing the wrong direction, plug it in, and then turn the halo around, and then just push it in the rest of the way. It's a lot easier, it's a lot simpler, and trust me, it will save you a lot of time. And exchanging for the other arms is pretty simple. You just pull the hand off like so. be aware that this part right here, I'll just do it right now so you guys can see. Actually, will it come out? Okay, right now it's not doing it, but earlier this was coming off a lot on the shoulder piece. It slides off. If it comes off, just slide it back into place and you should be good. And yeah, so that said, if I can get this hand back on, let's get on with the articulation. And the first thing I do want to note, so I don't forget, is the fact that they really, I wouldn't say they messed up, but in a way they did mess up with this purple part here, and the fact that this is glossy paint and this is matted. Um, this does tend to rub off on his stomach, which he actually, I don't know if you guys can see, there is some purple already in there, which the good thing I can say about it is that if you scratch at it a little bit gently, or if you can get something in there, kind of just dab it with water, and I wouldn't say a Q-tip because the Q-tip's not going to fit, but maybe like a toothpick wrapped in tissue paper and just kind of wipe it. It will come off, so be aware that it does come off. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is annoying, especially when you crunch him forward. This part obviously touches his stomach and it can rub the paint off, which is annoying because it's white. And yeah, it's just, I really wish that wasn't an issue, but it is. Other than that, he does have one of these ball hinges, which, it's good articulation. He can look up and down with it, but if it's not facing the right way, he's not going to look up. But he can look up, he can look down. His neck is on its own ball peg, from what I can tell, but it doesn't give the greatest range. It doesn't help out too much. But the head, like I said, if you move that hinge around, you can get really nice pivot. You just got to kind of mess with it to get the head to look up and down afterwards. But it's not that big of a deal. Only annoying thing is this head does have that peg hole right there because of the halo thing. But again, the other two don't. It kind of sucks that you don't have anything you can plug in there because, well, that looks ugly if you don't have the halo in. But at the same time, I wish we could have plugged the halo into these heads, but I'm glad they don't have the giant hole. So, you win some, you lose some. Lose some, I guess. I don't know. But arm articulation, he can go up really high, which is good. These are painted purple, whereas the last figure was painted white, and they're not the same color purple. This is a glossy, shiny purple. This is a matted, well, molded piece of plastic. But like I said, they do go up really good. They do rotate all the way around. It does have that upper arm swivel, which, it feels like if this will tend to pop off just because of the fact that they're meant to pop off for those hands. A little bit annoying, but not too big of a deal. He does have the double jointed elbows that do really well. Not a problem with that. He does have his, hinge and ball peg at the wrist, so good articulation there. Upper waist rotation, he can go back a little bit. And like I said, there's the purple right there, and it's just so annoying to see. But if you do rub at it, you can see it already kind of fading. So yeah, be careful when you're moving him forward, moving him side to side, really good range. The bottom right here, it doesn't rotate as much. Most of your rotation is going to come from his upper peg here, but he does have something going on down there. But like I said, you're not going to get range from that. You're going to get all your range from the upper one. Leg wise, he does have the pull down legs, so he can kick forward that much, pull down the leg, and can kick forward that much, and it's pretty straight. Looks pretty good, and he can kick back that much. His leg can go out that far. He does have double jointed knees, it looks like, which go in a good amount, and his leg can hinge forward, hinge back, and it does have an ankle pivot. And yeah, articulation wise, not bad, just annoying with that purple piece right there. I don't know, man. It just sucks that they did that. Not really much else to say about that. So let's just get on to some size comparisons and see if we can wrap this video up. So here he is next to the S.H Figarts Awakening Goku and the Figuarts standard Piccolo model kit thing. And yeah, you can see he is a pretty good size compared to both of them. He does stand about 4.5 inches from the top of his head to 5 inches from the top of the halo, if I am remembering correctly. And yeah, he scales in perfect with both of these guys. Again, I really like this Piccolo. If you guys haven't checked it out, I do have a review of him on the channel. But yeah, it's a nice match. I do wish I had a Super Saiyan Blue Goku to compare, but I don't, so kind of sucks. But yeah, that's just how it is. So overall, not a bad figure. It does have, some annoyances, mainly the paint rub thing, which for a $50 figure, that's really disappointing. Especially, his retail price is about $55, and I don't know, for that price, you shouldn't be getting paint rub. Maybe on a cheaper $20 figure, but on a $55 figure, I don't see why. And I know there's going to be at least somebody thinking, because this always happens. I see it all the time on other people's videos and stuff. Well, it's a premium figure. You're not supposed to play with it. It's a collectible. All these excuses you make. End of the day, they are technically action figures. Yes, they might be adult collectible action figures, but the action part is still in there. They should be able to move and have all the same kind of range and stuff as $20 figures, but be more durable. Especially when you're paying more money, I feel like figures should be more durable. And the fact that the paint rubs off is just a disappointment. Like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world. It can be wiped off. And if you see it, I definitely recommend wiping it off right away, because I feel like maybe if it sits out, especially with the summer heat, it might end up becoming more permanent over time. I can't confirm that. I don't know science, but I feel like that may happen. But other than that, not bad. The balancing issue, annoying, but workable. You can work around it in different ways. One thing I didn't mention during the review that I do want to mention right now, especially since this happened while I was messing with it, I put the death ball on him, which is on a ball peg. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the hand does kind of rotate back and forward. If you rotate it forward a little too much, because of the weight of this, it will push it forward. Hopefully, it's just because of the death ball. I haven't experienced any loose joints with this figure at all, really. So I'm hoping that the fact that the arms do pop off don't eventually loosen the joints. But I also feel like that might happen at some point if you do it too many times. So be careful with that. And aside from that, not really anything else to say. The paint looks amazing. Faces look amazing. The shading is pretty darn good. It's pretty accurate to the anime. Uh, I do wish that the shoulder joint pieces were the nicer purple, but I can see why, they wouldn't do that to save money. Again, you're paying more money for a figure. I would hope that they would do it. And I believe the purple on this is painted, because you can kind of see a little bit of white on the shoulder going on there. Maybe you guys can't, but I definitely can from my angle. And yeah, not much else to say here. We do have options, at least nowadays, for your Friezas. We have the original release, which, yes, goes for a lot of money, but it is still there. You can find it on eBay. It's a lot of money, but you can still find it. We have Golden Frieza, which is a different body from this one. I believe he's like a little bit taller, and just, I think it's overall a completely different body. Something I do still want to pick up before it skyrockets. We do have the Dragon Star series Frieza, which doesn't look bad. I've seen it a few times. I'm sure the articulation isn't the greatest, because, well, none of the Dragon Star series ones have the greatest articulation. But like I said, it doesn't look bad, and I would have picked it up, except for the only ones I've seen in person so far don't have the best shading, but they do vary. So, you know, you could get lucky if you order one online that has some nice shading. You can get unlucky and get one that has too much shading where it just looks weird. And of course, you have the Figuarts standard one, which I want to get. Looks cool, but he's too buff. He's too big. He's more of the Frieza who's like working at 100% of his power, at least in the Frieza saga. But like I said, we have options. The Shoto ones, if you guys want to collect the smaller line, those are really good. I did a review on the Golden Frieza from that line, and I liked it. That one had really good articulation. Yes, the joints fall off on that one, but still really good and no paint rub issues. But anyways, do I recommend this one? Yes. 100% get it now before it goes up in price. It is not a web exclusive, so hopefully you have time to get it at resale. At the moment, the hype is all up and stuff. People want it. So places like Amazon and people on eBay are kind of trying to sell it for more money than it's worth. But take your time, wait for it. It probably will go back down to its retail $55 at some point. Maybe, don't quote me on this. The market can be crazy sometimes. But at the most, it shouldn't reach past the $100 anytime soon, because we're still producing this. It's not a limited release. So anyways, that is my review for the S.H Figarts Dragon Ball Super Frieza figure by Bandai. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe for more, and I will see you all later. Thanks for watching. And one last note is I do apologize if the lighting is off. Frieza may actually look a little bit darker, a little bit more blue on this video than he is in real life. Hopefully, the pictures kind of capture how not bluish he looks, but I wanted to film this in front of a darker background because if I use my regular white background, it would have oversaturated and he would have blended in too much with the background and it wouldn't have looked good. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that this figure is kind of the guinea pig for this background and the lighting and everything, but if you made it to this part of the video, thanks for bearing with me. And like always, thank you for watching. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.